Thanks, everyone. I'm going to try and make sure that we keep the time. I think I have about 15 minutes or so I will whiz through. For those of you very quickly who don't know who Toluna are, I think most people think of us as a panel provider. That's where our business started. We started in 2000 and have now grown our panel from one country to 68, the team of 3 to 1,200, so we've had a huge level of growth over the last 17 years across these different regions. Effectively what that means is you can talk to people in all those countries using our panel. So I'll whiz through these. What I'm going to talk about today is really about our digital tracking and is your phone okay? Yeah, good. Is digital tracking and how that's being used by a range of different businesses and industries at the moment. So I'm just going to whiz through this. This is not to show, aren't we clever, Toluna are amazing, we are, but this is really to show adoption from our clients of technology. So as well as having a panel, Toluna, our CEO, Frédéric Petit, has always had a desire and a push to ensure we are incorporating technology and putting that in the hands of our clients or those that would like to use them. So we used to have products all over the place, all sorts of different types with lots of different brand names. I think thoroughly confused our clients who wondered what it was we did. So we've basically centralised those. And these numbers just reflect from 2015 to 2016 the adoption in these different things. So people using us to run communities, using our audience, our panels, but directly through our technology applications, run surveys and analyse data using tools. And so Toluna, we're going to keep pushing in that space, add more integrated tools, add more panels, and so on. But critically, for this next 12 or so minutes, is the integration of digital tracking into that. Now, digital tracking is our brand name, if you like. It's commonly referred to as passive measurement or passive data collection. And it's not that new. There are companies such as Wakupa, Reality Mine, who've really pioneered this, and others, Luth and so on in the States and in Europe. And Toluna have taken the step to be one of those providers as well. Critically linking it with our panels, because obviously Toluna we have our panels, therefore we can ask our respondents to opt in to be tracked. So why have we done that? I think it's fair to say, and this is not really teaching anyone anything new, but the not just the brand landscape, but people's purchasing behaviour, the kind of companies that we're finding and seeing inside this in our industry is changing all of the time. We used an example there of Amazon and Whole Foods. Now Amazon is a potential competitor to Tesco, to Sainsbury's, and my wife's just got. I don't know if you've seen Amazon Dash. Anyone seen those where you can get them for your different consumables, and when you're running low, you just push a button and it sends your order through to Amazon Prime and it comes the next day. So we're not going to supermarkets or to shops generally in the same way. Just last weekend, it's a really dull example, but wife and I decided we're going to go to the shops. We're going to go and we need to buy carpet. We want to buy door handles because we want to do some work in our house. So rather than just going online, we thought, we'll go to the shops. We'll do that. We'll take the kids with us. We're going to walk around, home base, B&Q, all the regular things, carpet right and so on. Saw lots of things, thought this is nice, and then came home, searched online, found much more variety and bought it online. We didn't buy it from the shop. It was just more of an outing, to be honest, which we probably won't do again for a little while because it was a nightmare with 3 kids. Anyway, but that's, we need to be able to, all industries now, both brands, retailers, manufacturers have to know or be able to anticipate what a consumer is going to do and how they are actually buying products. So this is why we wanted to sort of get involved in the digital tracking or passive data collection. So for clients, you can actually understand behaviour. For consumers, it means you don't have to ask them as many questions. I mean, just a moment ago, you were saying that surveys are too long. We all know this. We all know that surveys are long and they have these huge attitude batteries and scales, and people don't really like taking them. So how can we get insight from our customers or potential customers without asking many questions? So we are behind the curve. Reality Mine and others were first to the table. We launched our tracking solution in January. and have been tracking respondents in two ways, and I'll explain a little bit of that in a moment. But to focus on the case studies, because that's the key thing I wanted to talk to you about today, they have been multi-market. We're not just focusing on one particular market or not, and I'll talk you through those different ones. So the first is, I can't mention them by name. They've asked us not to discuss the brand names, but so the first big one we ran, which started in July, was for a multinational pet food manufacturer, and they had a challenge. They wanted to get consumers to stop, or as much as possible, stop buying their products at Amazon and at retailers in the US, such as Kroger's, Walmart, and so on. That sounds like a pretty tall order, and frankly, it is a tall order. However, their point was, if we can just get a small percentage to come to our online shop, as opposed to going somewhere else, that's huge revenue changes. So we're not expecting to get everyone to come over, but a proportion. So the reason they came to us, they actually asked us last year if we could do this study with them, because they're a client of ours regularly, and the answer was no, we can't. We don't have a passive tracking solution. They came to us again, and we basically recruited a community of people who buy pet products and track them over 3 months. The study is just coming up to a close, but the key things was to identify what are the main activities or actions you do when you're searching for those products. So where do you do it first of all? Which device? Is it a desktop? Is it laptop? Or, tablet, mobile? We're tracking across all those devices to monitor how people's behaviour changes and what are the touch points. So if they search for a particular product, do they then, and they see it on Amazon, do they then just go and buy it? Or do they then go to price comparison sites? Do they then go and buy it from a different retailer entirely? And based on that level of work that we ran, it's for 1,500 people over those 3 months in the States. They are effectively doing broadly three things. It's targeted advertising at certain key points, touch points, because we can track ad ID as well, and adjust and improve their online shop using some of the knowledge and some of the feedback that people have been saying. Because from these segments of types of people who are buying, they're then asking follow-up questions, saying, we know you did this, we saw you did that. Please tell us why. What was the main reason for that exhibited behaviour? So to the point earlier on of not relying just on recall. The next case study I'll talk about is it's a music streaming company. It's not the one you're all thinking of straight away. One of their competitors who wanted to understand, they wanted to track the reasons why they got to that. I'll skip over because we haven't got that much time, but 1,000 people over a month. So we know they're using our service, but we also, quite feasibly, they've got all the other music streaming apps, of which there are many, on their phones. Why do they use each one? Is it because of the content? Is it because there's a particular price differential? Is some of it used on an account by their family members? Who is actually the main determining factor of usage of that app? They are smaller than the big one that you're all thinking of. So they're looking at trying to find ways to basically attack their competitor and get more people using their music streaming services for reasons, and obviously then follow up with questions on that. And the third main one I'll talk about, and obviously invite any questions on these as you have them, is they said this. It's a manufacturer of IT hardware, printers and such. Fairly dull, and it's really challenging for them to be able to actually send a survey out and say, when did you last buy your printer? Because no one remembers that. I don't remember that, and I did it quite recently. So they wanted to try and find out, looking at over a longer period of time. So this project has been running actually since March, and it's just running in sort of waves every month where we're tracking certain different types of people. Thank you. To actually see when people are buying. So, just things like search terms, where they go to, what comparison sites they use, and what is the actual purchase destination for those products. So they can then adjust their advertising campaigns against those different touch points. And as you can see there, we go live in the UK with our first one in actually this quarter. So I've got the 2-minute warning. So I'll just finish off with just explaining what is being collected. We're collecting mobile device information, top-line elements such as what apps they've got, what device, what carrier, and so on. That is opted in when people download our app. So people are Toluna panelists. They then we encourage them to download the app. They don't have to, but by doing so, we can just see what their device information is against their demographics. We can see who they are. If we want to, or a client wants to then go in-app on certain apps, such as you'll see in a moment, YouTube, Netflix, and so on, or they want to track real domain, what they're doing on websites, we opt them in again. The key thing here is about complete transparency to the respondent and the value that they're giving the industry back by allowing us to monitor this behaviour over a fixed period of time, and obviously what's in it for them. So I'll skip through. What that basically means is this: we know that, and we can help clients know this about a person, and we can also now know this. And what that really drills into at a top line level is, what their behaviour is. Looking deeper, so you could look at how your people are using Netflix. Are they binge watching a series? Are they just watching them week by week? Is it really inconsistent? And who are those people? And I'll just whiz through websites viewed, where they shop, when they shop, how they shop, and why they're doing it. So I'll get through. The key thing is here, and there's a number of companies that are doing great work in analytics, because when you pull this information together, the level of data is absolutely vast. It's just huge. You think every single possible domain, then all the information under that, which means basket and watching content and so on. So it's taking that raw data and turning it into insight. Now, we're working with a number of different providers to build dashboards and help clients understand that. But the key thing is trading off between, many clients have said, I want all this data, I want everything, but actually saying, well, what do you want to try and achieve? Let's not go crazy and deliver these vast sets of spreadsheets when you could actually pick out key KPIs. So really to conclude, that the key thing is around this, it's about carrying on doing the research that we need to do, as you all are now, but making it easier for the respondent, making it transparent to the respondent, and tying their attitudinal, what they tell you in surveys, to their behaviour and to what they actually do and why they're doing it. Okay. Thanks very much.